We constantly hear from both religious leaders and governmental leaders that Islam is a religion of peace. Is it really? Our special guest today was a professor of Islamic history at Al-Azhar University in Cairo, Egypt. He says that the history of Islam is a river of blood. Greetings in the name of Jesus, our blessed hope. I am Dave Reagan, Senior Evangelist for Lamb and Lion Ministries, and I am delighted to have with me this week a very special guest by the name of Mark Gabriel. Mark is a former professor of Islamic history at Al-Azhar University in Cairo, Egypt, the world's premier Islamic university. Mark, let's begin by talking about your upbringing in Egypt. Were you born and raised in Cairo?
No, actually I was born in south part of Egypt, and my family was moved to Cairo when I was almost 14 years old.
Oh, when you were 14?
Yes.
Okay. Were your parents strict Muslims?
They are.
Very devout. Not the secular type of Muslim that we often encounter in this country.
No.
In fact, you had an uncle who was an imam, wasn't he?
He's a clerk, yeah, Muslim clerk, and imam also.
Wasn't he the one who first began to inspire you to memorize the Quran?
Yes, he took me when I was 5 years old, and he started helping me memorizing the Quran.
And is it true that by the time you were 12 years old, that you had the Quran memorized?
Absolutely. I spent almost 7 years exactly to finish memorizing the entire book.
Now, Mark, I have a copy of the Quran that is about that thick, and it's in very small print.
Yes.
We're talking about quite a lot of material there.
Exactly. The size of the Quran actually is exactly like the size of the New Testament.
So you had a book, the equivalent of the New Testament in length, memorized by the time you were 12 years old.
By heart, absolutely.
And you had it memorized in classical Arabic, right?
Exactly, because the language of the Quran, it's classic Arabic, it's not dialect Arabic.
It's not the Arabic you speak on the streets.
No, absolutely
and
not.
probably at the age of 12, you didn't understand all that, did you?
No, even when I finished my secondary school, only when I start to really, my high school, I start to recognize the meaning of the verses of the Quran and the teaching of the Quran. But it was a development, you see, from the time I finished the Quran when I was 12 years old till I finished my bachelor degree. From time to time it was a development taking place in understanding the meaning of this book. But when I finished my bachelor degree, I was already have the proper understanding of the meaning of this book.
And why was it important for you to memorize the Quran as a child? Why did anybody put any importance on that? Is that something important in Islamic society?
This is actually, it came as culture. Mainly, it's Islamic culture. And it wasn't just from the past 10 years or 50 years. It's from the very early time, the first century of Islam. Muslims start to take care of giving the Quran from generation to generation by memorizing the book by heart.
Okay. Yes. Now, were you ever exposed to any Christians while you were growing up, either missionaries or Coptic Christians, the basic Christianity of Egypt?
Absolutely. I saw Christians living in my neighborhood, living in my country, Egypt, as minority. But the things that Christianity in Egypt didn't have really the power to influence Muslims, and this is the reason why I wasn't influenced by this type of Christianity during all my life, because the Christianity in Egypt is so traditional. More than 90% of Egyptian Christians, they are traditional.
Very liturgical type.
Exactly. But there is one incident happened when I was a little child with a Christian priest from that church. What happened in that time really was left a huge influence over my spiritual life.
Tell us about it.
I was really become very upset and very angry, you see, of Christians and the Jews because of the teaching I started to receive every day in my school, especially when I was in my secondary school at Al-Azhar Islamic Institute. So one day I decided really to fire the Christians, and so I find a Christian priest in that church was using the road outside of my house, going from his place to his monastery every day.